Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the most dangerous combat sport in the world, American politics. I'm Ted King. All right, so let's be clear. Let me be clear anyway, that American politics isn't just about the political climate in America. It primarily has a lot to do with the influence, the influencers, the donors, the big deep pocket people that may not have been living in America all their lives, but have come over here from places like South Africa. Before I get started, don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube, follow on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. If you see us on Twitter, give us a follow there as well. And decided to, spread their seeds here in America to be able to be bigger influencers. And so I wanted to read this article. It says right here, because Elon Musk is back in the news today, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you noticed this, but I believe he's in the White House, or was in the White House, as early as, I believe, yesterday. And of course, the date of this telecast, this report is the 20th. I believe the day is the 20th. Is the day. Today is the 20th of November, 2025. And anyway, let me go ahead. And this is I seen this, I think, yesterday or the day before yesterday, and it caught my attention. But I was kind of busy, so I wasn't able to get to it. But I'm getting to it today. And here's an article written by it said Patnick 4 days ago. It says, so I'm gonna spell his name. Let's spell capital BIBHU first name, Patnaik, capital PATTNAIK, and this article was Benzaga. So it's on, once again, this is online, and it's basically been written on the online platform. Okay, so let me go ahead and read this. It says, opinion. Elon Musk father said, and this is an opinion, it says, Elon Musk father says America will collapse if white population becomes minority. You want to see the government go down? Question mark. So it's his quote, right? It's quote. You want to see the U.S. government go down? So Elon Musk is predicting that if the white population is of the minority, that this country is doomed. Okay, it's doomed. And oh, by the way, before I go into the further into this article, I want you all to be aware that Elon Musk is saying that without robotics being implemented in the future, that the United States will be further in debt, will never get out of debt. So there's a scheme of some plan of some sort to have robotics take over. And I can only imagine what kind of robots we're talking about, okay? Because the only type of new technology that has been able to, manifest yes, I'm going to say it, that has manifested the overthrowing of certain humans or humanity. I'm going to say it one more time. Or humanities has been some sort of weapons of destruction. Okay? Robotics, with guns, do I need to say more? Well, anyway, let me go ahead and read this, okay? All right. The father of Elon Musk, Elon Musk, has recently made some contentious remarks about the future of America, suggesting a bleak outlook if the demographic shift towards a minority white population occurs. Okay. Now, I'm going to say something about that quickly. Always follow the money, ladies and gentlemen. You hear this quote all the time. Follow the money. Now, Elon Musk got his money from who? Arrow. Okay? Arrow. Okay? Elon Musk, the article goes on to say, Elon Musk made these comments during an interview with CNN. He was responding to predictions that white people will become a minority in the U.S. within the next 2 decades. And that's true. That's absolutely, no doubt. That's what everybody is afraid of, right? That's what this whole situation is about, is that white people will become a minority. But what they don't say is white people don't have to worry about that. I mean, becoming a minority. I'll get into that a little bit later. But anyway, Elon Musk, Elon Musk, a resident of South Africa. So this man, he's lived in South Africa. He's not even living in America. Expressed his views in a startling way, asserting that such a demographic change would be a very, very bad thing to happen. Wow, that's a quote too now. He quoted that. Let me say that again because it's quote, a very, very bad thing to happen, unquote. He further questioned, quote, you want to see the U.S. go down? Question mark. Why? Question mark. You don't like electric cars and you don't like technology. What is it? You want to go back to the jungle? Unquote. Wow. Oh, man. Okay, anyway, so he goes on to further say, so the article goes on to say, he also referenced his home country, South Africa, stating that, quote, small white population that projects the European culture, unquote, has been instrumental in the growth and development of the black African population. Also read, Musk's father says he warned his son against going into politics. He's not a very good politician at all. Wow. Well, you're right about one thing, Errol. Okay, he says he dismissed the concept of oppression in South Africa as, quote, nonsense. Why it matters. These comments come amidst a tense political climate in the U.S. boycotting the upcoming G20 summit in South Africa. This decision follows President Donald Trump's repeated allegations of a so-called, quote, white genocide, unquote. A claim that South African officials have categorically denied, and rightfully so. It should be categorically denied, okay? I mean, Elon Musk's comments have ignited a heated debate on the future of America and its demographic shift. His remarks have also drawn attention to the ongoing political and racial tensions both in the U.S. and South Africa. This is quite normal under these set of circumstances. I mean, because, there was a situation with his son, Elon, made a gesture that looked similar to a Heil Hitler type sign. I mean, once again, what do I know, right? I seen something that looked like it was a gesture, like Heil Hitler, okay? And so of course, they claim that that's not what it was, But once again, truth, if you believe, the truth, that's what it is. If you believe the truth, even if it's a lie and you believe it as being truth, it's true. Donald Trump talking to Saudis. I mean, come on, man. Listen. I mean, is it that big of a? I mean, is it really? And this is a country that claim to adhere to biblical principles, yet they want to be over men, other men, and women, of course. They want to be dominant over what in the Bible says only one entity, the Almighty God, has the capacity to be over men. And so, but they want to be like God. They want to take on the mantle. I'm going to be over you. You're a slave to me. Come on now. It's not going to work, okay? It's going to be a problem, okay? And so, till the man becomes humble and understand that, what? The capacity of man ruling over man is not the design. It's counterintuitive to what the design is. So, that's another story. But anyway, Elon, back in the news. With Donald Trump, with these, Saudi Arabia, trying to get this money going back and forth and back and forth, back and forth and back and forth. And how see, this is the problem right here. How people think that Donald Trump, of all people, gonna be the savior. The savior of what? And that's what I just can't wrap my head around, how they figure he gonna be the savior. Even they people, he gonna be the one that's gonna save them. He is the most powerful, that he gonna be able to save them. Donald Trump ain't trying to save himself. Until a person can say, I can save me, you shouldn't be paying attention to whatever they say until they're able to say, okay, so if he says, okay, I'm gonna get myself in a position to be able to grift the whole nation, I'm gonna show you how I can do it, right? I'll be a grifter to the whole nation. I'll be in a situation where I'm going to be making these moves because I'm going to be the president. But they stopping Donald right now. They putting a halt to Donald. Don't bite into the banana in the tailpipe, okay? Or don't let the tailpipe bite into you. How's that sound? That sound better? Okay. Because believe me, these people that have a lot of power gonna shut stuff down when they understand that this is coming back to knock on their door, on their front door. They're gonna put a stop to it. They put a stop to Donald Trump as we speak. I mean, you can beyond these Epstein files. I mean, they might say, they might, because they're good, they're real good. I underestimate Donald one too many times. And Donald was always able to prove me, you underestimate me, sir. And you know what? I'm not gonna do it. Because the way I see it, they will never show these Epstein files while Donald Trump is in office. They're gonna be able to push this thing back or do something to make sure that those files are not put out in front where they can say, you the one you was part of this whole pedophile ring, Mr. Trump. They ain't gonna be able to, listen, okay, well, if it does happen, it'll have to be because his party, it says, sacrificial lamb, you are, Donald. We're not going down for you because this is going to erode us as a power for decades. And I'm talking about decades. All right? We're talking about decades. And when I say decades, I mean decades. Because when they shut down Richard Nixon, they knew that Watergate stuff was going to cause them problems for decades as far as being able to get the House, the Senate, and the presidency all at the same time. And it did. It did. This is right here is going to really put them back. And then you're going to see Republicans jumping over there, same Republicans, jumping over there being Democrats. Oh, yeah, we're Democrats now. You know, we're good. I've seen and go jump over, just like they did in 1968, 64. When the Democrats signed the Civil Rights Bill, you got all kind of Republicans, excuse me, you got all kind of Democrats turn around. I'm Republican now. I'm Republican. And that's when this whole thing started. So yeah, that's what I got on this. You know, we're gonna keep up with this Epstein stuff going on. But listen, we have to always see when the seeds are planted. See, that's what we don't do. We don't pay attention to them seeds being planted. Them seeds is planted, because I think Elon, last I checked, did get some contracts from Donald Trump, you know, and he does have deep pockets, and you know, he is projected to be the first trillionaire in the world, you know, they ever make a trillion, considered a trillionaire, not a billionaire, a trillionaire. They project him to be a trillionaire. So he does have a lot of influence, okay? I mean, listen, as long as they got people that's going to give him certain contracts and allow him to do certain things, he's going to always have money. He's going to always be in this situation where his daddy can always say from South Africa that white people better be in control. Otherwise, you're going to have a problem. Yes, indeed. They need to let that go, okay? They need to let that go. They need to let it go. They need to let that go. Yes, they do. God said it in the book that you need to let that kind of stuff go, okay? I'm just saying, you know, you think you're ahead of God and you think that Elon Musk is bigger than God, or Elon Musk is bigger than God. Well, go ahead. Keep up that energy going. I'm of the mindset that everybody should be paying attention to Daniel 2:44. That's what I tell people. Better pay attention to that scripture right there. And yeah, so that's what I got for this segment on the you know, the Elon Musk prediction. You know, anyway. Oh shoot, there's another one right here that said Elon Musk's father open to more children despite age. If she's under 35, I wouldn't think twice about having another child. Wow. Let's hope 20 or 25 minus 35 is not okay for Mr. Musk. He wants to have more babies. He's trying to populate the country, man. I wonder, anyway, we know what that is all about. So anyway, that's what Elon Musk's daddy Arrow had to say. And the next one, I'm out. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification icon bell. Follow. All that stuff. Because once again, I can only read what they say. Okay, what do I know? I don't know that much, right? 35-year-old, anybody under 35, anybody under 35 wouldn't take, damn, what happens if they're 36? Yeah, look, I guess. All right, until the next one. Peace out. Much love.
We have 1-to-1 motion capture in real time in Unity. What's the coolest thing we can do?
Yeah, you're done. Whoa, you got an alien! All right, what's next?
That looks pretty good.
I'm a perfect truck.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of King, Mighty King Media TV. And once again, I'm your host, the double OG Grill Boxing, Ted King. And today we're going to be talking about this upcoming fight, November 22nd. Actually, a hell of a card, actually. Yes, it's a good card, okay? The Riyadh fight card for November 22nd, 2025, headlined by David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde, features several championship bouts, including Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. for the WBO welterweight title. Now, that's going to be a very intriguing fight right there. All the fights are going to be intriguing, but this one in particular, the Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. And then, of course, and a unification fight between Jesse Bam Bam Rodriguez and Fernando Martinez for the super flyweight titles. Another title fight on the undercard is Abdullah Mason versus Sam Nokes for the WBO lightweight title. Okay, so this is going to be upcoming fights this weekend on the 22nd. Jesse Bam Rodriguez fight versus Fernando Martinez is also earmarked as one of the best fighters on the card. Should be anticipated as one of the best fight on the card. And of course, Bam Rodriguez, in my opinion, is definitely a pound for pound, top 10 pound for pound fighter today. He possesses, in my opinion, very good lateral movement from boxing from the southpaw position. So that's going to be a problem for anybody that fights him. He's got good feet, good movement, and good power. And he's definitely akin to, in my opinion, not like Salvador Sanchez, but Salvador Sanchez-like. Okay, if that makes sense. He's going to be very difficult to beat, even though this fight is earmarked as one of the best fights on the card. I don't see this as going to be a problem for Bam Bam Rodriguez. That's my opinion. But we're going to listen to what both Bam Bam and Rodriguez and Martinez has to say.
Feeling good. Just another day of training. My name is Jesse Bam Rodriguez, 25 years old. I am born and raised in San Antonio, Texas. I fight in the super flyweight division, 115 pounds.
Nice uppercut and the left hand floors Gallo Estrada.
So far in my career, I've accomplished unified champion 2-time.
WBC and Ring Magazine super flyweight champion of the world.
Training out here in Riverside, Moreno Valley. Since the beginning of my career, I was training alongside world champions, so just being able to pick that up firsthand, I think that's a huge advantage. I'm surrounded by greatness, so how can I not become great myself? Chose boxing because I wanted to be like my big brother. He had always wanted to box, and then my mom never let him. And then just one day she let up and decided to let him try it out, go to the gym, and then I tagged along with him for like 2 weeks, but I was just watching in the stands. And then on that third week, I just went in and tried it myself and stuck with it ever since. And 3 fights I lost, so I just stuck with it and won my first fight. And after that, I just fell in love with it.
So show me a jab.
I met him when he was like 10 or 11. I was training Nonito Droner. He had a fight in San Antonio. During the media workout, Nonito invited a kid into the ring to shadow box with him. And Bam stepped into the ring. Nonito said, this kid's gonna be special. His angles, man, his footwork, it's just beautiful.
He's gonna be good, man.
He's challenging himself to fight a world champion, a big name, a Hall of Famer. That's what motivates him.
From La Boca, Buenos Aires, Argentina, he will be challenging Jesse Bam Rodriguez in a 12-round super flyweight world championship. Let's welcome the world champion,
This
Fernando
is an action-packed fight. I have Bam Bam Rodriguez over Martinez. Now, let's go to the Norman
I know
versus
Puma's
Haney
training like never before because this is the biggest fight of his career.
I know he's a strong fighter. He's relentless. He doesn't stop punching, but you know, we know this going into the fight, so anything he brings to the table is not going to surprise us.
I think styles make fights. And Puma Martinez coming straight at Bam is a perfect style for Bam to shine.
It goes back to me trusting my abilities, my skills. When I go in there, I'll know what to do and I'll adapt right away. I'm 2 fights away from becoming undisputed, so that's my main goal right now.
I hate to predict because anything would happen in boxing. I truly believe it's going to be a fight where Bam wins by knockout.
I just know for sure I'm winning. My hand will be raised at the end of the night and go home to my kids.
22-0 with his 15th knockout, and on to November 22nd, where he'll face Fernando Puma Martinez.
I think he's tailor-made for Brian Norman Jr. to be, and I think he's tailor-made for Brian Norman Jr. to become a star. I think this whole situation, the table is set, and all Brian Norman Jr. got to do is go eat. That's it.
All right, let's let Bill Haney have the mic now. I'm sure you have plenty to say about Brian Norman Sr. and Brian Norman Jr.
Well, first, I want to thank Allah for this opportunity. It's been quite a journey, you know, and I'm going to ask for all the patience in him to give me to not just go in on that clown over there. You dig what I'm saying? But first, let me acknowledge the star-studded cast both on the stage right now and those that's behind the stage to make this thing happen. I've had quite some mentors in this business. I see Jay over there, you know what I mean, with Abdullah Mason, a tremendous talent who's fighting for a championship, something that dreams are made of. He comes from a great family of boys and men that's been standing on business, and now they have their opportunity. Of course, you got the Benavidez's who paved the way and trailblazed the way for guys like us to be independent. He started at like 16, 17, and I've been tapped in with Benavidez from the beginning. And you got Tunde. That's right, brother. He fought to be up on this stage. His name wasn't up on here, but he represents this shit. And the clown over there, you dig what I'm saying? He came for the show, but he's going to get his in a minute. You know what I'm saying? So Tunde and Anthony Yard, I knew them from coming to the Mayweather gym across the pond, and Tunde learning the game from Floyd and putting it down. So to see them on the stage and them two families getting a bunch of money means a whole lot to me. Reno, you know, you speak for yourself, and what he's doing in boxing behind the scenes with Turki Al-Sheikh, and giving us the opportunity. The one thing when I met Turki, I said, listen, I don't know what everybody else got to say to you, but I need to tell you we've been getting robbed. And I said, listen, if you work with my son, you're going to see someone that's standing on business and willing to make all the sacrifices to be the kind of fighter that you want backing up Riyadh season. So here we are. They have a great relationship. That Devin is standing on business, just like Reno said, and it didn't matter who it was. You know what I mean? We wanted the opportunity to be here, and we want the max money. You know what I mean? That's what this business is about. Because taking punches, you know, there comes a time when you have to rely on what you've invested in and made happen. You know what I mean? So now, with that, let me get to the clown over there. Now, Devin has fought 3 champions to become the fighter that he is. We went across the pond to Australia and they said that I couldn't come. And he said, well, Dad, I'm going to bring the belt back. That was one of the most impressive times in my life that this man had did. And I knew that he was full grown and on his own. We came back to the 140-pound division and fought Regis Prograis, someone that no one wanted to fight because, I mean, he was the Rougarou, okay? And then after everybody assassinated him and said, well, the left hook, the clown's son, tremendous fighter, put a guy in a coma. You know, he lost memory, or I don't know, you know, he lost memory of the fight and everything, right? So for Devin to give Carl Moretti and Lomachenko the opportunity for the undisputed title, right? Something that he didn't have to do because he could have went up and fought at 140, but he still made the sacrifice and stood on business.
Bill
Right?
talking
He
loud.
wants to come back in when the clown didn't have no opportunity. Nobody wanted to fight him, right? He had complained about boots and complained about everybody. Where was he going to have an opportunity to be on this stage right here if Devin didn't give him the opportunity? I don't know if he's ungrateful, he's just slow, or he's just capping, but you should have took longer when you had the mic, dummy. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm going to wrap this up with Alhamdulillah, and it's a great opportunity. Thank you for everybody on the stage for giving us the opportunity to grace it with you.
I want to say, thank you, Bill, for that bullshit ass speech. So check this out right here. So hold on, check this out right here. You got a man in Bill Haney who literally just said to me, who was gonna fight my son? Not to mention this fight with Devin Haney was made 7 days after my son just made the knockout of the year. Less than 7 days. So what the hell do you mean who was gonna fight my son? You never gave an opportunity. You don't know what the hell we had on the table. You have no clue who was gonna fight my son. Don't tell me nobody was looking for him. He had just fought. Devin had fought since May. You just made the statement and said you went to Turkey out of sheet and said you back up Devin. This is gonna be the best. He was the most bullshit fight on the card. He was the worst one, literally. He was literally the worst one on the card. Can we admit that? Hell no, we can't admit that.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Hey, sir. Sir, let me ask you. Is your son the best fighter at 147 pounds? Is he the most dangerous and feared fighter at 147 pounds, sir?
Absolutely, but we already know that. We was talking about that. Let's keep it right. Let's keep it right. We was talking about that. See, listen. See, here's the problem. Wait, let me tell you the problem. What happens? So what you did was you brought a bunch of goopy hoes, all your fellas that you paid to bring. You brought a bunch of goopy hoes, and now what they doing is they fucking the whole press conference up for you and me. That's what they doing. We trying to get active. They trying to do all they little. They trying to get somebody. That's what they
want to put something on the table for me and him to wrestle on this motherfucking stage. Then just let it be known, and we can get to it. Other than that, let's get to having a great night in boxing.
The last time social media heard, Bill Haney said, "I'm gonna make my pro debut against."
Well, let's see right now. Come on, let's see right now.
Well, let's go then. What we gonna do? What the hell we gonna do? Look at it. He hot. He high. He high. He high. He high. He high. Man, come on, bro. What we talking about?
All right, who wants to hear from their sons? Anybody here want to hear from the guys actually fighting on Saturday night?
Hold on. Listen.
You supposed to be fighting me, Bill.
Okay.
You supposed to be fighting me. When we gonna fight?
Okay, listen. Right now, if you want to. But listen, let me just say
You
this.
said it was on site, Negro. I done seen you 5 times.
Okay. Shout out to the professionalism in this guy to come out when he did. This is amazing town. We've been here since November the 1st, right? And what we have is what we call when you get acclimated in Saudi, we got that bounce. You dig? Now tell him, let's see that bounce over there. Stiff as boards over there, you dig? November 22nd, my son gonna punish you.
All right, let's hear now from Devin Haney. Devin, for the first time in your career, I believe, you are the underdog in this matchup. Do you feel everything you've accomplished in your career that you should be the favorite?
Not anymore. I think it was an update in the odds.
No, sir. He's still the underdog. He's still the underdog. Check again.
No, alhamdulillah, I'm happy that
He's still underdog.
to be here. I thank Allah for this opportunity. I thank His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh for giving me this opportunity to be fighting here in Riyadh. This is a dream come true of mine. A dream come true of mine to be fighting for another world title. And this is not my first rodeo, so it won't be anything different. I look to bring back the WBO title back home to me and my family, my team, and yeah.
All right, Brian, Devin has fought and beaten 7 world champions. To my knowledge, you haven't fought a single champion in your career yet. What do you say to those who believe you're not ready to deal with someone of his caliber?
First thing first, this is a wonderful fight card, and gotta thank everybody that made this fight happen. That's Turkey Al Sheikh, His Excellency, Ring, my Bob father, Bob Arum, Top Rank. I appreciate y'all for making this fight happen, and I truly feel like either you got it or you don't. Of course, he has fought. He has did wonderful things in his time period and what he had going on, but it's time for another face to come up here and do his own thing, and that's what that boy Brian Norman Jr. step in at.
Well, you said in Devin's last fight against Jose Ramirez that he ran so much he had to change shoes because they ran out of grip. That said, he won basically every round of that fight. How do you plan to force him into exchanges with you when other fighters haven't been able to seem to do that?
I mean, it's only so far you can go. We in the box. It's not like he could just run forever. So no matter if he run or he stay there, no matter what, the boy going to sleep.
And Devin, what's your strategy for Brian? He says there's no way that you're going to stand in the pocket and exchange with him. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, we fight everybody, different. Like I said, this is not my first rodeo. I fought Ramirez different than I fought Loma. I fought Loma different than I fought Regis. So, the world got to see, what game plan me and my team has drawn up, and I'm gonna beat this guy.
Well, in a recent face-to-face interview, you said he was just another guy. He's a bum. Why do you feel that way about him?
No, I think he's a great fighter.
Oh, there you go. Well, Devin, what's your prediction for Saturday?
Devin Haney, WBO champion.
Brian, how confident are you that you can get a decision win against Devin, or do you think you just have to knock him out to win?
I could win by any means necessary. If I want to go to the cards, I could do that. If I want to knock him out, I'm definitely going to do that anyway, as is. It's me stamping my name in the game.
So what will happen Saturday? How do you win?
The boy going to sleep, dog.
All right. All right, now let's hear from the WBC and WBA champion of the world, David Benavidez.
Here we go,
David, in your opinion, from what you've seen from Anthony, where does he rank amongst your toughest opponents?
First of all, I want to thank God. I want to thank Turkey Al-Sheikh. I want to thank Al Heyman, Luis Kuglis Jr., for making this fight possible. I've had my eye on Anthony Yarde for a long, long time. I know he's a great fighter. He has a lot of heart. He has a lot of power. And the thing I like about Anthony Yarde, that no matter who he's up against, he's in there to make it a great fight. Me, I like to make every fight I'm in a war. I like to give the people the fights they want to see, and I want to give them the action-packed fights they want to see. So I've trained. I had a great training camp. I've trained extremely hard, and this fight is going to live up to the moment. Anthony Yarde, he's trying to capture world title. I'm trying to capture all the titles and unify all the titles in the light heavyweight division. So there's a lot at stake here. I'm very excited for this fight. This has been the hardest I've trained out of any of my fights, so I'm very, very excited. I'm going to go in there and give you guys a war, and you guys, the fans of boxing are really the ones going to win on the night of Saturday, because from the top to the bottom, you have myself and Anthony Yarde, you got Brian Norman and Devin Haney, Bam Bam Rodriguez, and Abdullah Mason. This card is stacked. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a great night of boxing for everybody that's watching.
Well, you heard his trainer say it's going to be a blockbuster. It's going to be a war. Is that the kind of fight you're expecting, or do you think you're going to be able to dominate him?
I'm looking to dominate, but whatever happens, I'm ready for whatever. If it's going to turn into a war, then I'm going to turn it into a war. But I'm definitely going to dominate.
All right, well, but you heard him, Anthony. You're the challenger, and you recently said that you're going to hit David harder than he's ever been hit before, and that you're going to put him to sleep. Why are you so confident you're going to do that on Saturday?
Did I say that?
You did say that. We've got it on tape somewhere.
First of all, I want to thank God. I want to thank everyone in attendance. Big man here, Frank Warren, been with him from the beginning. Trainer Tunde, the rest of my team, and His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh. He picked me personally for this fight. And of course, Benavidez team giving me this opportunity. We're here again. And I feel like this is the best version of me. I've always said that I didn't want an easy route, because there's people that go and win vacant titles, and nothing against them kind of people. But I've always said I want to...
My fight prediction: Abdullah Mason over Sam Noakes. Jesse Bam Bam Rodriguez over Fernando Martinez. On a close decision, Devin Haney over Brian Norman Jr. and David Benavidez over Anthony Yarde. Let me know what you think. Comment in the comment section. Like and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one. Keep your hands up.
Said I had 12 amateur fights. And we've made it to the stage 3 times. And you've seen me get better each time. But this occasion, feels right. So I want everyone to tune in. I want to thank everyone on I don't even like to call it an undercard because I feel like every fight on this card is like a main event. I'm a fan of everybody on the show as well. So let's make it happen. Let's put on an excellent night of boxing and make this one for the history books.
This is another episode of the most dangerous combat sport in the world, American politics. And once again, I'm your host, Ted King. Trump signs funding bill to end longest U.S. government shutdown. The president signs a bill to restart federal operations after House passes this measure in 222 to 209 vote. So yeah, we're back in business. And of course, you get murmurs from both sides saying that we gave too much and we did all this shutdown, and how do we gain leverage? And of course, we know that on November, which is this month, when they had the elections, the Democrats swept victories across the nation. So of course, that was part of the shutdown process, because once again, we're dealing with a lot of people who are middlemen, okay, and playing the game with other people's money. That's what it is, right? We have donors who are contributing for their agenda, and then of course we have the citizens of the United States paying taxes, in a sense, donating taxes to support their agenda, the middlemen's agenda. That's how this thing works, ladies and gentlemen, and that's what we need to understand. So, you have from the Democratic side people talking about their colleagues and perhaps trying to get rid of the leader, Schumer, get him to step down because his stance is not hard enough. His position to give in is something that they deem as weak. So, but Schumer, of course, he's been playing to his demographic, and I don't need to talk about what that is. And that demographic is the ones who carry the most dollars. So, to get rid of Schumer, someone would have to be a big advocate to be able to fundraise. Okay, a person who can advocate fundraising in a big way, because basically the demographic of Leader Schumer's, his contributors have big, deep pockets. And so, yeah, it's a money game, of course, and no matter how we play it, that's what it is. Likewise, that's how, until you understand that, we need to understand that's what gets people elected into office, and big dollars, okay? It's big money. All right, so the longest U.S. government shutdown in history ended Wednesday after more than 42 days. Following the House of Representatives passage of a bill negotiated by Republicans and a splinter group of Democrat-aligned senators. Okay, so this is what happened, like I said. Okay, the compromise sets the stage for government operations to return to normal through January, while leaving unresolved the issues of expiring tax credits for Affordable Care Act or Obama health plans, which most Democrats demanded to extend in any deal to reopen the government. And that's what they were talking about, that's what they demanded, but that's not what in fact happened. Although, they have until the beginning of next year to, of course, fight a different battle, same fight, but I should say the same war, but different battle. Yeah, it makes more sense. Yeah, it's the same war, but it's a different battle to tackle this They needed to open up the government. They needed to do that, right? And so that's what they did. So they're going to just reset and then go back at it essentially in January. Okay. After it was revealed over the weekend, the Senate approved the compromise on Monday, and the House followed suit 2 days later by a margin of 222 in favor and 209 against, with 2 not voting. Donald Trump signed the bill on Wednesday night, saying, "We're sending a clear message that we will never give in to extortion." Because that's what it was. The Democrats tried to extort our country. Now, this is another thing that, remember, in this politics, this is a political arena. We must understand one thing, that, there are untruths on both sides, right? And the untruth that you believe is not a lie, right? Yeah, I mean, it's a lie, basically. An untruth is a lie. But when we don't, they're able to mouthpiece their way into making us believe that the lie is the truth, then that's what it is. And so until we understand this political game, mouthpiece game, okay, that's what it is. The lies that they tell, if we believe them, then of course, once again, it's not a lie. So, that's what we have to, we have to kind of sift through the lies. And there's no bigger liar than our president. Yeah. Okay, so 6 Democrats broke with party to vote for the bill. Adam Gray of California, Tom Suozzi of New York now, excuse me if I'm pronouncing the name wrong, it's spelled Suozzi of New York, Mary Gluesenkamp Perez of Washington, Don Davis of North Carolina, Henry Cuellar of Texas, and Jared Golden of Maine. 2 Republicans, Thomas Macy of Kentucky and Greg Stubble of Florida, voted against it. Okay, so now it goes on to say the Democratic shutdown is finally over thanks to House and Senate Republicans. House Republican leaders said in a statement as follows: "There is absolutely no question now that Democrats are responsible for millions of American families going hungry. Millions of travelers left stranded in airports, and our troops left wondering if they would receive their next paycheck." Now, see, this is the blame game that's going on. That once this happens and it's over with, now which party do we play? Where do we place the game? The blame, excuse me. Where do we place the blame? That's what it is, okay? And it's only obvious, right, that the Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House, the presidency. So, I mean, it's hard for me, that's just me now, to be able to wrap my head around this narrative that was all Democratic. It was the Democrats that did it. When, of course, we know, or at least I know, okay, that there's some things going on, corruption in my mind, right? Now I'm thinking, it must be correct. It's got to sound like corruption to me. And, for them to convince me otherwise, I think that I would be buying into an untruth. And so I'm not going to do that. I can't do that. So, keep it real. This is me now. This is me. That, I cannot buy into an untruth. And that's basically, the fact is fact, and the fact is that the Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House, the presidency. So, me personally think that that's probably where the blame should go. We think logically about this whole situation, right? And of course, the things that's going on in the White House right now with different countries, various countries, and of course, paying our president quite a bit of money just to meet him, to have a conversation with him. This has been well reported now, and this is not absolute corruption. I don't know what it is. I know that I couldn't do it. I can get away with it, no way, shape, or form. So anyway, it is what it is, right? Okay, so it goes on to say here, because I'm reading this article, right? And I will tell you what the article. Let me go tell you where the article is, who the article is from now, before I even go any further. And this the article is on Chris Stein in Washington. Chris Stein wrote the article, and it's in U.S. politics. Okay, and it's updates, of course. So of course, you know, I get updated, get the information just like you all do, and I just report what the information is that they're filtered down. This is what I'm doing today. Okay, so here we go. Now this is very interesting here, right? It goes on to say, it says Republicans who control both the House and the Senate counter-offered with a bill to fund the government through the third week of November, without any spending cuts or major changes to policy. They passed the measure through the lower chamber with only a single Democrat in support. But the minority used the Senate's filibuster to block its passage there. Okay, so there was a filibuster situation that went on. The shutdown began in 1st of October, resulting in about 700,000 federal workers being furloughed, hundreds of thousands of others, from active duty military to law enforcement to airport security screeners, remaining on the job without pay. Russell Vogt, big name now. Russell Vogt, this is a big name, right? That's Russell Vogt, V-O-U-G-H-T. That's Russell Vogt, okay? The White House Office of Management and Budget Director, known for his hostility towards the federal workforce, right? Because they fired a lot of people, right? Seized on the funding lapse to order further layoffs of government employees. He also cut funding for infrastructure projects in states that voted for Kamala Harris last year. Okay, so though Trump ordered military members be paid in a move that many experts call probably illegal, other federal workers missed paychecks. Food banks began reporting increased demands as the shutdown went on, with the need worsening after the White House halted payments under the Supplementary Nutrition Assistance Program, or food stamps, citing the government funding lapse. Now, this funds for the food stamps was there. You know, they reported the money's there for food stamps, but someone said we're not going to distribute the money for food stamps, for SNAP benefits. Now, if the Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the presidency, who is behind that? Okay, so anyway, let's move on. Last week, Sean Duffy, the Transportation Secretary, ordered a cutback in flights at U.S. airports, saying air traffic controllers were facing unprecedented strains after weeks of unpaid work. Widespread flight cancellations were reported in the days that followed. Now, we know this is November, okay? And we're treading into the holiday season where people do a lot of traveling. And it's very important that these air traffic controllers are in place to make sure people are safe in the airways. Yeah, you know, these airways are very important. They need to, they have to have these air traffic controllers in place. So that was the pressure, that was pressure right there on on both parties, but primarily Republican Party, to make this thing happen, to make it go, because time was not on their side. And of course, the American people has spoken regarding, especially when you say, there was someone said on day one, prices in this country was going to be going down as soon as they became the President of the United States. One of those people who was running for the office of the President of the United States made that statement that on day one, prices for the American people would go down. Yeah. So, anyway, Democratic leaders said the wins vindicated their strategy in the funding fight. A statement Trump echoed saying, and this is a quote, "The shutdown is a big factor," unquote. In the GOP's poor performance, he began pressing Republican senators to scrap the filibuster, which would have negated the 60-vote threshold spending legislation needs to clear in the chamber where the GOP holds 53 seats, which is without, anyway, he tried to, get that filibuster out of the way so they could do what they wanted to do. That didn't happen, okay? Meanwhile, a small group of modern members of the Senate Democratic caucus had been negotiating a compromise to end the shutdown. It ended up funding the government through January and undoing the layoffs the Trump administration had ordered after the shutdown began. Now, this was a Trump administration order, okay, regarding layoffs. So, we can't, these things, like I said, we can't put these things, it has to follow the feet of the people in control. That's the bottom line. And that's the bottom line. So, until we get to next January, to get a little bit more clarity as to where this thing is going, we just have to, keep our seatbelts buckled. And here's the reason why. Because Adelita Grijalva was just sworn in yesterday. And so she represents the vote, the one vote that can open up those Epstein files. Now, last time I checked, this whole government shutdown, in my opinion, just my opinion now, what do I know? I don't know that much, you know what I mean? I don't know that much. But I do know that there was a shutdown. And it appeared to me, just to me, that there was a big reason behind that. And now that the government is reopened and Adelita Grijalva is now been sworn in, and she's the deciding vote to open up those files, somebody is shaking in their boots right about now. And so this whole thing is about to unfold in real time. And of course, this is Thursday. What's today? Today's the 13th November. And I will be reporting later on today about this situation. I did a little report on it yesterday as well. Primarily that's what I talked about yesterday. And you can see the streams on YouTube, Mighty King Media TV, Mouthpiece Sports, add my name. Of course, Facebook as well, TikTok, Instagram, etc. And you know, and if you get an opportunity, don't forget to like and subscribe, of course. Please, you know, follow the channel. Is there anything called All Hell About to Break Loose? Have you ever heard about that? All hell about to break loose? Man, I think it's about to happen. And so, yeah. So anyway, that's what I got today. Listen, we'll be back later on. You know, keep looking because